Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Belichick's Bitches Podcast, the number one podcast in the world by some sort of metric, using the best source, the only source. Do trust me. I'm your host, Brennan, and as with me, as always, is my co-host Tyler.
Yes, and this is something that isn't part of the election. So hey, take your mind off it for a little bit because it's still going. So our football because why not? Anyway, so this week we kind of had a little bit of a busy week. It was a trade
Trade deadline.
deadline.
Yep.
Yes, last year. Now, of course, you normally think with a trade deadline that means trades happened. Well, not in the
Not really.
NFL.
The major trades happen the day before the deadline.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that towards the end because we got to milk it up somehow. But so I guess we'll just kind of just
I mean, do
jump
we really
straight
need
into
a
it.
milk? Do we really need a milk for time with how much time we begin in these?
It's true. We always say we're going to try to make it 40 minutes, and then we go an hour. We'll never make another hour under our podcast episode. It's just not going to happen.
Probably not.
Um, so I guess we'll just kind of jump straight into it. The Bengals upset the Titans. I don't. I wasn't really expecting that.
I don't
I
think
don't think
anyone
anyone
was.
was. I mean, Burrow has been great, and he was
Yes.
great again.
Burrow
And
looking like the quarterback I thought he'd be, thankfully.
yeah, I mean,
I got one of the
yeah,
quarterbacks right.
people kind of knew he was going to be good, but people kind of expected
Oh,
that
I
he
saw I
kind of
saw a
run
lot
in.
of people doubting Burrow. It's like, oh, he's just a 1 year
Yeah,
wonder.
he's going to run into an issue, but he's been lights out, and you've seen how bad LSU is without him. Like I know other factors are like into that LSU thing,
Yeah.
right? But you see how bad LSU is now compared to when they had Burrow. It's completely
It's
different.
night and day.
But yeah, I think he's the best quarterback in the AFC North.
You can definitely make that argument. I would definitely not contest you on that.
I
Lamar's been
I can't
struggling.
believe
Big Ben's been meh.
I
Baker's
just can't
been
believe
on and
that
off, but
he's been
basically meh to below average.
he's just been out of this world. And he honestly, the Titans, he's gonna speed up the Bengals rebuild by a year or two
Hopefully.
with his already how good he is.
If they can get him an
Um,
offensive line, that'll definitely increase the time for the rebuild. I mean, decrease the time.
he honestly reminds me of Luck in his rookie year, even better than Luck in his rookie year.
Not as many
He's
interceptions as
just
Luck.
no. And on the other side of it, the Titans. I mean, yeah, you lost, but the inconsistencies for the Titans are there. That was their issue last season. They were kind of inconsistent, and then they had that great run.
Yeah.
They have to figure that out. When Derrick Henry isn't having the best game, or when the play action's not working, something else has to work beside Derrick Henry, and they need to find that.
Yeah, they really need a backup plan for when play action and Derrick Henry isn't working as well as he usually does. Because
They need to have a
Tannehill
third
usually
option.
struggles
Yeah.
when that doesn't happen.
And last season they kind of had Dion Lewis to kind of help with that, but now they don't. I mean, they have Darrington Evans,
They
who
need
isn't
they
really.
need to start using Darrington Evans more.
Yeah, and he hasn't
In my
really.
opinion.
They haven't given him many chances. And
No, it's
the
mainly
other running
been
back. Who's
um,
the other running back on that team? I can see his face, but I cannot remember his name.
yeah, behind Derrick Henry. Where is he? I can like almost think of the college too. Here, I
Yeah,
can look it up.
the big boy, kind of
Yeah,
like Henry.
yeah, he's
I just can't
basically
remember his name.
another power back.
Yeah, he's been doing really
Uh,
good when he gets his few touches.
Jeremy McNichols.
Yes, McNichols. I don't know why I was struggling with that.
Actually, Darrington Evans isn't even their third string running back. That goes to
Really,
Carl Blazingame.
really. I guess because Blazing Game's a good blocker. But interesting. Blazing Game's more of like a H back, not really a halfback. Yeah, he's really, that's weird. Anyway, so I don't know if you saw this. When the Chiefs were playing the Jets, they were only up by like a touchdown in like the second quarter, and then the Chiefs just turned into the Chiefs
Yeah.
or the rest of the game, and the Jets suck. I mean, there's really not
Somehow
much
the
else you can say
Broncos
about the
still almost
Jets.
lost to them.
I can't think of one thing about the Jets that's good.
Nope.
Really can't. You know, the
Makai
only
Becton
bright
has been
spot.
better than expected. That's pretty much it.
the only bright spot I can really point out has been Quinnen Williams. And when Quinnen Williams is your bright spot, it's an issue because Quinnen Williams still isn't that good. He's been a lot better than the last 2 years. That's about it. It's been Quinnen Williams and Mekhi Becton, like you said.
And Mekhi Becton's been injured for a little bit.
I just don't know where this rebuild's going. I don't see the vision. There's so many questions about it. I mean, what are they going to do with Darnold? What are they going to do with no playmakers on the offensive side of the ball?
You see like a draft day trade this year if the Jets really do end up taking Trevor. You'd see Darnold shipped off to like maybe a Pittsburgh. Sit behind
that would be
Matt for
interesting.
a year.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for Darnold because they're kind of scapegoating him in this. Him and Gase. You see the GM. You see what the GM of the Jets said is that Gase is like the solution, is part of the solution. Like, he's kind of
the Jets
ruined your
ladies and gentlemen.
franchise.
The Jets.
Yeah.
One of the most dysfunctional organizations in NFL history.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, it's just. But
You're stupid, by the way.
What's it called? Yeah. So then the Jets decide, well, we don't have much else going on for us, so might as well trade away Avery Williamson. So they traded Avery Williamson to the Steelers.
Get some good depth at
Which was
linebacker
interesting.
behind Devin Bush.
And it was for a 2022 fifth. It wasn't even a 2021. Distant pick. I like Avery Williamson's reaction to it, though. The Twitter post.
Oh, I didn't even see his Twitter post.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, I don't know if it was Instagram. Sorry, it was Instagram. Instagram post was hilarious. So he posted in full gear. He went out to the streets in New York City and fucking held up his thumb trying to hail a taxi in full uniform. Oh my god, it was great. It was great.
Did someone pick him up?
I don't know. It didn't. It was just a picture, but I thought that was hilarious. So he's on the move. He goes from what 0-8 to 7-0.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad. But I don't know. I think that's a good pickup for the Steelers. It's pretty good value because he's a great player, and they didn't really give up anything for him.
Can you stop messing up the Google Doc, please?
No,
You're very.
it
bad
is
at
going
this.
to happen. I do it every week. You should be used to this by now.
It's still very annoying. So the Broncos, they had a 21-point fourth quarter comeback to beat the Chargers. I
Saw that.
unfortunately was not able to watch this game because I was on my way home from. Was I? I think I was on my way home from Nevada. I think. No? Yes? Maybe? Yes. Yes, I was on my way home from Nevada. So I didn't get to see this game, but I saw like the first quarter stats. I'm like, oh, we're gonna lose this game. This is terrible. Locke's playing atrocious. And he turned it on in the fourth quarter, scored 21 points unanswered, and we somehow won 31-30.
That last second touchdown was pretty nice.
The rest of the season, I honestly could care less about everyone else in the Broncos. I'm solely going to be watching Locke. Because as of right now, I'm all for drafting a quarterback high in this year's draft. I just need to see more from him to make me say otherwise.
And see, that's what's amazing about this. And we kind of talked about it before
Zach
the recording
Wilson
session. There's so many teams tanking this year. It takes more than one hand. I think it's up. I didn't do an official count. It's over 6 or 7.
Oh yeah,
teams that are tanking. So, that race for Trevor Lawrence is going to be crazy. And then what that does is it makes Trevor Lawrence's trade value higher.
skyrocket. Yeah.
Because before you'd have maybe 3 teams tank, and then normally one of those teams would outperform. Really, it was only 2. Then normally you would, and if the team that won the tank doesn't get a quarterback, they would just trade it away for maybe 2 firsts. Now, I don't know that his value is going to be around 3 first-round picks, probably for a trade up. If you're not in that top 10, if you're not in that top 10, it's going to cost you a first this year, a first next year, probably another first if you even have it, or a boatload of other picks.
Yeah, I wonder
So
how far in advance you can actually trade draft picks. I wonder if there's actual limit on that in the actual NFL.
well, I mean, I know this was a long time ago, but I mean, Ditka traded a whole freaking draft for Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
You know, so unless they've changed the rules since then, shouldn't really be a limit. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like whoever wins the tank's going to need a quarterback. I feel like it's going to be the Jets. Gut
It's going to
feeling.
be the Jets
I know.
at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see the Jets winning 2 games. I don't see it.
Yeah. No
I
way.
don't even see them winning 1 game.
No way.
Honestly, I could easily see them.
No way.
The only game they could win is versus New England.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
There's no way you can outsuck the Jets unless the players and the coaches themselves are full into tanking as well. Which, good luck. Trying to
It's
get
not
that
going to
to
happen.
happen.
But yeah, and speaking of the Chargers, they actually traded Desmond King. Now there was rumors that Desmond King was going to get traded, and when you heard that, I was thinking like second, third round pick.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what his value would be in compensatory would be a third. So you're thinking a second, third, maybe a fourth, but that's even low for me. They ended up trading him for a 6th-round pick to the Titans.
Titans got a steal.
I didn't understand that. I'm gonna be honest, because this is his last year of his deal, right?
Yes.
He's gonna be a free agent after the season.
Yes.
But why wouldn't you just have him, even if you don't want him to play and you want to play your younger guys, which I don't understand that process, but if you want to play your younger guys, go for it. Just have him sit on the bench, turn punts, and then you get a 3rd-round pick come just letting him walk.
For the most part.
I don't understand. I didn't understand the move by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Sometimes not making a move is better than making a move in a lot of situations. Sitting on your hands is a lot better than some of these NFL GMs do. I mean, even Madden wouldn't accept that trade.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I mean,
Madden would definitely not accept that trade.
I mean, jeez. I didn't understand it. And I think the Titans just took away like because he has potential. Probably not this season, but in a season or two, he has potential to be a number 1 corner in the league. I mean, he was an all-pro punt returner. He was a great slot corner. Chargers. It just doesn't make sense at all.
It's the Chargers.
The
That's the only
Chargers.
thing that makes sense.
I already feel bad for Herbert.
Oh, we got a franchise quarterback. Goodbye, everyone else on the team. Well, potential
Can't
franchise
believe-
quarterback.
If you would have told me that in week 8, Brennan would be saying franchise quarterback about Justin Herbert, I would have completely said you were lying.
I would have questioned a lot.
I would have. He'd be like, "Are we in the middle of a pandemic or something?" That would have been my question.
I just 2020 in a nutshell.
Oh my god. So, can we just say that the 49ers are the most injured team I've ever seen play?
Yeah,
I think I can officially say
I
that.
think we can give them that title now. Yeah.
You know, I always hate to say the blank I've ever seen because recency bias is a hell of a drug. But I mean, they have nobody left from that team that was just leading in the 4th quarter of a Super Bowl in February. No, I think someone said 15 out of the 22 starters are gone. They're injured or not on the team anymore.
Yeah, and Garoppolo's back on IR.
And Kittle, because of course I own Kittle in fantasy. So why wouldn't he get injured? Because why not?
Hey, watch your privilege about fantasy players, okay?
Hey. So about Dalvin Cook.
Watch your fantasy privilege.
Dalvin Cook is funny.
Dalvin Cook scored 50 points on me for Tyler last week.
Oh my!
Watch your fantasy
yeah.
privilege, mister.
Yeah, so Kittle and Garoppolo are expected to miss a bunch of time. Kittle is most likely a season-ending injury, or if they make the playoffs, he'll probably be back for the playoffs. But it's a while, and then all the Seahawks had to really do was not get injured, and they were going to win the game, which happened. And DK Metcalf is just human. He's ridiculous.
I was right. I was right
I
about
want to
DK.
ask you a question because I want to ask you a question.
No.
If DK keeps this pace up, he's on the season.
Let me pull up the
Would you
stats.
put him in? Would you put him as a top 10 receiver at the end of the year if he keeps this up?
Ooh.
I feel like that's something we should start considering. He's pulled ahead of AJ Brown. I think I thought DK and AJ were on the same level going on to the season. He's overtaken AJ Brown for sure. I don't know if I top 10. I feel like he might. I'd have to go look at my top 10 list, but I feel like he's getting there.
I feel like I think I would put him in there.
I mean, because he's been such an impactful player. Him and Tyler Lockett. Lockett's making his own case for a top 10 receiver.
I think he's currently tied for first in receiving touchdowns with 7. And he's 4th in yards at 680. Behind
Jeez.
D-Hop, Diggs, and Robbie Anderson, respectively.
Anderson has been another receiver that just has had a great year.
Yeah. So is DJ Moore. Carolina's been doing really well passing the football. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore are both in the top 7 in receiving yards. Both have over 600.
I can't wait for Carolina's draft class of defensive rookies to develop, because their defense, when those guys develop, it's gonna be scary.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown.
Jeremy Chin, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be gross, man. Drafted a corner too. I don't remember his name, but I know he was pretty nice coming out of college.
Yeah. What's his name?
Oh, there's a lot of people. I'm forgetting my names. I need to get back on my game. But yeah, so I'm speaking of the Panthers, since that's actually the next talking point. Panthers have been inconsistent this season. But one thing I can definitely say about them is they're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Even with their inconsistencies, they're playing really good football. And they're actually, on. They just need to, Matt Rule is a rookie coach. You can definitely see that.
Yetter goes Matos and Troy Pride.
Pride was the guy I was thinking of. Yeah.
Out in Notre Dame.
Yeah. I really like the Panthers' defensive rookie class once they actually develop. The offense looks like they're going to be pretty good for a while. Curtis Samuel has had a good year as number 3 target, which is nice to see him actually be utilized. They're actually using him in the backfield too.
Which
He's also a running back type guy.
Yeah.
He was I think he did that in college with Ohio State.
I wouldn't doubt it.
If I remember correctly, he ran some running back. Yeah.
That rate. Oh my! Talk about games I actually did watch. I watched the Raiders and Browns game because it was the only game on. Oh man,
no.
I really wish I didn't watch that game. That game was so.
Oh boy.
That game was so boring. I had watched I think half of it, and it was so boring. I actually fell asleep for like 2 hours until I think the next game came on after, which I think was the Seahawks and Niners.
Oh my god.
I actually fell asleep during that game.
Holy shit. I didn't actually watch much football. I was pretty busy this weekend. I was doing calc. I was prepping for a calc test. I was pretty busy, but yeah, that game was just. Did you see the PAT or the field goal? It pushed back by the wind.
Yeah,
that was funny. But yeah, Baker, man, Baker is so frustrating as a quarterback because he shows you great potential, and then he looks like Daniel Jones next week. Come on, man. Some consistency.
Please.
Get together, man. Did you see what the GM said about Baker?
No.
Yeah, he was doing a press conference, and they said, well, I think Baker's played well, which, I don't know about that. He said Baker's been playing well, he's been making the right throws. And then they asked him about him being the franchise quarterback, and the GM went, well, and he kind of dodged the question. That's not a good sign. I don't think Baker's job is in immediate danger.
No.
But
Because his backup's Case Keenum anyway.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not going to try to keep him. But I'm just saying, if Winston goes out in free agency and the Browns want to sign him to compete with Baker, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, Lord.
I think Winston gets a shot next year.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
I just wonder if it'll be with the Saints or they're going to prefer Taysom Hill.
If the Saints go Taysom Hill,
Sean Payton. Well, we'll see.
I feel like an offensive Taysom Hill would completely look like the Wildcat offense for Miami in
Probably.
2007.
I wouldn't doubt it. That'd be an extremely weird, probably extremely ineffective, but interesting
Gimmick
to
offense.
watch.
I feel like it would be like kind of what people expected the Cardinals offense to look like last year. Like everyone thought the Cardinals offense was going to be this weird, funky offense, and it was just a West Coast offense
Yeah, it was just
that knows how to push the ball. People were expecting Kyler Murray and like Kenyon Drake to be freaking sharing the back. No, it was just an air raid. But yeah, that offense would just be funky, and Winston deserves a shot with the Saints. I feel like, especially with Breeze and his noodle arm.
Poor Breeze.
I feel bad that Breeze is regressing more than Brady has.
Yeah, so do
Just
I.
feel bad.
I feel bad for
Like-
that too.
If you had asked people before the season who's regressed more, people would have said Brady.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Not anymore. Got that noodle arm.
The way he struggles to make those downfield throws, it just hurts to watch a bit.
I always make this joke, but it's always funny. He has to jump to throw the football because he's short. Anyway, sorry, Breeze. I had to make that comment.
Even though Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray are shorter.
I haven't watched enough Kyler Murray to say whether he jumps or not, but I know Wilson does the jump every now and again, and it always makes me chuckle. I know it's not supposed to make you chuckle, and these guys are a million times better athletes than I could ever dream of. I'm still taller.
I'm about to say height, so actually I'm probably about the same height or maybe a little bit shorter. So
I may be 100,000 more or 100,000% more unathletic. At least I'm a couple inches taller.
See, I don't even got the height. I'm just like 5'9". I might be as tall as Kyler Murray, but not Russell Wilson or Drew Brees.
God. Or Kyler Murray.
I might be able to
there's
compete
no
with
way
Kyler in height.
But see, I don't understand how Kyler has such an arm, man. Like,
Baseball.
he's so short.
Baseball.
Yeah. Oh my. Okay. So Kyler, I know this is completely unrelated. Kyler Murray slid this week, right?
Yes.
Before he got hit, and he did like a really smooth pop-up slide, like you do in baseball.
Yeah.
So he did this really smooth. So you know what the announcer said, Charles Davis?
No.
Yeah. I wonder how he slides so well.
Oh my god.
And the other announcer, I don't know who it is, kind of paused. He said, "Played baseball, Charles." Oh yeah. Oh my god. I wonder how he slid so well. Oh my god. Anyway, I just thought
That's Charles Davis. He's like commentating just
what a
like he's in
man.
Madden.
His Madden commentating is getting very old and very repetitive, and it makes me want to freaking hit myself in the
All
kneecap
Madden
with the door.
commentary is like that.
I remember when they had some other guys, and then they switched to Davis and the other guy, and it was like freaking hallelujah. We get new announcers, and that lasted for all of like 3 weeks.
It
and
was
you're like,
Charles Davis and Brandon Gaudin.
Oh, Gaudin. Does Gaudin even do football games in real life?
I don't think I've ever heard him call a game.
I want to say he's a baseball guy.
I honestly
I have
don't
to
think
look.
I've
I
ever
don't-
heard Brandon Gaudin call a game before.
Oh my god. Also, I feel bad for baseball fans because they get more Joe Buck than we do.
Oh, he does college football. He does college football,
College
basketball,
football?
and baseball. Yeah, he does the Big Ten.
Huh. Did not know that.
Neither did I.
It's probably a good thing. I mean, his voice is on Madden too. But so did you watch? You probably didn't. The Vikings Packers game was.
No, I didn't get to see it.
It was glorious, beautiful, amazing. This was one of the few games I watched this week. I watched it while studying.
I watched.
And every time I look,
I watched Dalvin Cook single-handedly kill my team. That's what I watched.
I literally every time I looked up from my computer, Dalvin Cook had the ball in open space. You would look up, Dalvin Cook has a 10-yard run. Look down. Look up, Dalvin Cook 5-yard run. Down. I mean, literally,
Look up, Calvin.
The
Dalvin Cook
Packers
just scored another touchdown.
Oh my god, that was great. 50 point. I didn't even know I was playing you until I actually checked the first time. And I thought that was hilarious. I'm still 3-6, but at least I got the at least I got one win over you.
I only have
Neither of us
wins.
are gonna make neither of us are making the playoffs, but
Yeah.
other than that, it was a pretty non-eventful game. It was pretty much just Dalvin Cook versus the Packers. That was pretty much it. The Packers are so frustrating, man. Like, I know I don't like the Packers. I have a bias against them because just personal reasons, but they need receivers, man. They refuse to give Rodgers receivers this year, not last year. I don't understand why they don't give him a shot, but it's crazy. And then did you see the Will Fuller thing yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Will Fuller business. Jesus, I'm trying to give you some segments.
I've missed a lot, honestly.
I'm trying to give you some segments.
My focus has been on a lot of other stuff other than football. This week for me for football was kind of like my off week, honestly. There's so many other
I'm trying
things
not
that
to
were
ramble
priority.
I'm trying not to ramble for too much in a row. I keep trying to toss you the segments. Nah, I didn't see it. Dang it. Anyway, so I guess I'll just keep it. Will Fuller and the Texans and the Packers had mutual interest, and Texans
I heard that. I heard Packers had interest in Will Fuller.
Houston wanted a second round pick.
Yeah, I
Fuller.
heard that too. That's way too much.
And
Maybe
yes
a fourth.
and no.
I'd probably go for a fourth. A second, no.
Well, here's the reason they were doing that is because the Packers are so needy for a receiver.
That's very true.
That's why the price increased, because Houston knew they were not going to trade Will Fuller to any other team because no other team was going to give him anything more than a fourth round pick. That's what the Packers were offering, was a fourth round pick, like you said, and they couldn't get to that point. They wouldn't settle for a third, and Green Bay probably wasn't going to go up to a third. So it was just a thing where even Will Fuller was like, "Come on, trade me." He even posted on Twitter, "Trade me." Wouldn't do it. So, Will Fuller staying in Houston and Green Bay, I think they're pretenders. I don't think they're contenders. And that's not my bias. If it is my bias, I'm sorry. I don't think they're contenders. That team has so many holes.
Yeah.
They're number 2, 3, and 4 receivers or running backs.
That's sad. That's really sad.
What are you gonna do? Throw the ball to Marcus Valdes-Scantling? Scantling can't catch a pass.
I know we've already talked about this a lot, but can we just mention how in a historic draft class for wide receivers, the Packers didn't draft a single receiver. They actually drafted a fullback in the 3rd round.
And a running back in the 2nd that they don't even use for his intended purpose.
Yep.
They draft a power back and they don't use him on the goal line. Use Jamal Williams on the goal line.
Matt LaFleur confuses me.
So yeah, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Can we talk about someone else who wants to get traded?
Oh, McKinley?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Takars McKinley, what are you doing, my man? So on Twitter, he completely blacked out everything, all of his pictures and everything like that. And he tweeted something. He says, "These at Atlanta Falcons turned down a 2nd round pick when I requested to get traded last year. The same at Atlanta Falcons turned down a 5th and a 6th round draft pick from multiple teams when I requested to get traded this year. I only have 17 and a half career sacks, then 3 clown emojis after that. The dude is not only clowning on himself. I mean, he's not only clowning on the Falcons, he is roasting himself for only having 17 and a half career sacks as a first-round pick edge rusher. Is he calling himself a
no.
bust here?
To be fair, he's been very injury riddled, and Falcons even then aren't really using him in the right packages.
I still remember his speech when he got drafted with a picture of his grandmother. He was like, "Find me, I don't care. Find me later, I don't care."
I wonder, did they actually fine him for that?
I don't know. I don't.
Can they even fine him for that? Because he
think they did.
technically wasn't under contract.
I don't think
I
they
don't-
did, but I don't think they probably could either.
I don't think you can fine somebody that's not under contract and with the NFLPA.
Yeah, I'm not.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know, but I highly doubt you can fine someone for who's not in your league yet.
Yeah,
Anyway, beside the point. Like the NFL can't go out and fine me $100,000. Like, yeah, if Goodell could, he would, because I'm sure Goodell would hate me. But Goodell, please don't hate me when I get to the NFL as a coach or scout, please. I'm joking, bro. It's a joke.
please
No,
joke.
but-
I swear. Please, I want a job. Let me watch
Anyway.
football for a living.
I'm gonna scrub this this video later. Anyway. So the Dolphins and Rams played a wonderfully terrible game of football.
Yeah, Tua won his first start.
It
but
was
didn't
great.
Look very pretty.
He just he was all right. The Rams lost because the Dolphins decided they were going to play defense and special teams for a change. They had, I think, a touchdown on offense, a touchdown on defense, and a touchdown on special teams, which is, I feel like that's pretty rare. I don't really see that often, but they just steamrolled the freaking Rams doing that. Yeah, Tua just was all right. Threw a nice touchdown to Devontae Parker. That's pretty much it. I don't know. That'll be interesting. I'm still not keen on Tua being the starter. I think Fitz the better option, especially with them fighting for a new playoff spot. And apparently, there could be an extended playoffs with 8 teams each in each division, depending on how Corona plays out and everything. So, I don't know. I think the Dolphins should be starting Fitz, but that's just me. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Let's see.
My mind is all over the place right now. Yeah. I still think they should be starting to give him as much experience as he can. They're obviously not going anywhere this season. Even if they were starting Fitzpatrick, you might as well start Tua. He's healthy. Get him reps with first team offense as many as he can, especially in live fire games. I feel like it's his best opportunity for learn, especially when he's going against Aaron Donald right up the gut.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think. I'm surprised they didn't trade Fitz at the deadline. Honestly, I guess they wanted to keep on him in case they do start competing for that playoff spot. Because once Miami, they're gonna beat us the second time. They should be in position for that 8th, if there is an 8th wild card spot.
7th.
Should be though. Oh, no, there's an 8th because 7th. You're right.
It's 7.
Wait, no,
It's 7.
7. Okay.
It's 7.
I don't know why I thought it was 8. I thought it was 8. I don't know what I was going on.
Yes, half the league is going to make the playoffs now.
You never know. I watched the Steelers game, and the Ravens in the first half were absolutely dominating them. Only thing the Steelers did in the first half was a pick 6 off Lamar. That was it.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
I was pretty happy with Lamar during the first half of that game fantasy wise, and then I was very disappointed when the game ended.
He didn't really do much. He hasn't really been able to target Hollywood Brown.
Can we get Lamar some receivers, please? I know they have 3 starting caliber tight ends, but can we get him some diversity in his receiving core so that everyone doesn't have pretty much the same skill set, or if they have a similar skill set, they're at least elite at that skill set.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Willie
I
Snead ain't
think
cutting it for me. Willie Snead ain't
I
cutting
w-
it for me.
Willie Snead is one of those guys. I think Harbaugh just likes his attitude. I think that's why he's out there a lot.
Give
He
me
just seems to always
Duvernay.
be on the field.
Give me my draft crush out of Texas.
But it was it was weird. The first half was all Baltimore, and then after the first half, literally it was just Pittsburgh just completely asserting their dominance. It was never really a good game. It was just kind of a one half was decided by one team, and Steelers just went up and shellacked them in the second half, and that was it. It wasn't like the most interesting game in the world, but hey, we got to see it. Can I just say this? All right. Did you watch the Colts game? They won again.
I believe so. Yeah, they played the Lions. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
They won again. I mean, there's really not too much to say other than that the Colts have been a lot better than I think people were expecting this season.
I mean,
It's just
I had them as a playoff team. Just saying.
I just don't think. Yeah. Well, but I don't think Philip Rivers is made for playoff football this year. I think that's the difference. Is I don't know if he's going to do it. I don't know if he's going to cut it. But I've been wrong before and a lot. But I just don't see Philip Rivers in the playoffs this year with the Colts. I don't see it.
You okay there?
The Saints and Bears game. Okay, so first of all, Saints won. Shocker. It was the battle of the two pretenders this game. I don't think either team is as good as their record shows. And it definitely showed in the game. It was very sloppy. It wasn't very good football. But we got some action in the third quarter that made this game hilarious. So Javon Wims, right, and was not happy with how Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was playing them. Earlier in the third quarter, he started poking Anthony Miller in the face. Anthony Miller didn't really care. He was professional. And then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson ripped Javon Wims' mouth guard off. So Wims was hot.
So was that thing about him changing his name fake then? Him changing his name to CD Deuce?
I guess that was like a fake thing. I haven't seen anything about it.
Same.
So Wims gets pulled off the field because he's like the fourth or fifth receiver. Bears. Mm-hmm. So they put him back out there. About 2 minutes later, he goes right to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and rips his mouth guard off, and then almost immediately open-handed punches his helmet. So two sides of it are Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was just kind of standing there after the play, just got freaking approached by Wims. And Javon Wims said that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson spit in his face after he took his mouth guard off, which, if you look at the replay, that didn't happen. He didn't spit on him. Because
maybe
it literally
Javon Wims just wanted him to.
I think so. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had this reaction he was completely shocked that it happened. He's already gotten hit by Michael Thomas. I guess he's not really scared anymore. But he literally just kind of looked at the ref and just kind of shrugged his shoulders. Because obviously the punch didn't hurt because he has a 40-pound helmet on. So it didn't really hurt. But I just kind of looked at him no. What the hell? So Wims got suspended for 2 games. He said he was defending his teammate and then he got spit on. Defending your teammate, I guess. Not really. It's like the polar opposite of what happened in Dallas. The quarterback got cheap shotted out of the game, and all of the freaking players just didn't really care. You have that end of the spectrum, and then you have a guy punching somebody over a guy poking him in the face.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
man.
NFL's wild, man.
Consistency. So you have one guy gets a cheap shot on a quarterback, doesn't get suspended, and this guy punches a guy in the helmet and gets a 2-game suspension. What can you do?
Who knows?
Did you watch the Eagles-Cowboys game?
That was Thursday night, right?
Oh, it was
Sunday night. Yeah, I knew it was that night. I knew it was prime time. I saw a little bit of it. Can you? Come on. You've had such a nice streak doing the Google Doc properly, and then you do that.
Anyway, yeah, it was pretty ugly.
I'm not
Game.
one
It
for
was just a
OCD,
turnover.
but come on, man.
The only thing that was really of note is in DiNucci's first start, he was a 6th-round pick or a 7th-round pick that was
6th-round
not
pick.
prepared.
I think.
He definitely wasn't prepared.
No.
And he's not even going to start next week. They've already said that.
The only bright
Either
spot
going to start.
on the Eagles is Travis Fulgham.
I picked him up in fantasy.
So did I.
He's a bad man. But I just keep laughing because Wentz sucks. We both put our faith in Wentz in the top 10 quarterback rankings, and he's just been absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
This season.
Maybe we should.
He leads the
do a
league in
top 10
turnovers.
next season.
He leads the league in turnovers.
How does he lead the league in turnovers when Daniel Jones is in the league?
He has 3 more turnovers than Daniel Jones. 3.
Wow.
He fumbles the ball a lot. I guess because he's. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why he's so turnover prone this year. It's weird. I think 9 picks and 4 fumbles. If I remember the number correctly. Yeah, and he's also fumbled the ball 3 more times, but they recovered it, so it wasn't turnovers. So, yeah, Wentz has been on the struggle bus. But I thought it was funny that just see Wentz struggle against that terrible defense.
A game I did
in
watch,
Dallas.
however. Game I did watch, however, was Tampa Bay and New York.
Oh boy.
I thought Tom Brady was about to lose to Daniel Jones for a second there. It's like, is Tom Brady really going to lose to the Giants again? I mean, I know it's the Giants, but come on. I know that's your kryptonite, but this Giants team isn't even average.
It's something about the blue jerseys, man. It just gets to him.
He's like, that's my team, right? We're blue.
Literally, if you go against them, just wear your blue alternate uniforms, and that's it, bro. It's game over. No, yeah, that game was pretty bad. Daniel Jones had that dime to Golden Tate right before the game ended. I was like, dang, that's how Tampa Bay's gonna lose. And then the 2-point conversion was just great. So people are calling this controversial. I don't see it.
Yeah.
So Daniel Jones winds up the throw, and Dion Lewis has Antonio Winfield, or however you say his name. I always mess that up. Winfield, whatever his name is. He has him. He's covering Dion Lewis, and he throws to Dion Lewis, and Dion Lewis has about 2 feet of separation when the ball is released. He has a chance at the touchdown, or at the 2-point conversion. Sorry. And the ball was severely underthrown. Yeah. It was thrown at the defender's arm. So the defender, I'm going to call him the defender because I can't say his name. Winfield turned his head right as the ball got there. He kind of slapped Dion Lewis's arm as the ball got there. He was trying to make a play on the ball.
The ball hit Winfield.
But he was trying to reach out to the other arms because that's where he thought the ball was. Because if that's any other quarterback, that's where the ball's going.
Yeah.
And so he did what he was supposed to do. So the refs threw a really late flag, and they discussed it. And then the line judge said, "No, it's not PI." The ball hit his arm, and they picked the flag up, and the game was over. And Joe Judge was not happy. Joe Judge was an angry boy. And I mean, I guess I guess I can see it from a coaching point of view, because if I'm coaching the Giants and that happens and all that's happened, I would be mad too. He just needed somebody to take it out on that wasn't his team. Took it out on the refs. But yeah, I mean, people are calling it controversial, and again, the reason why I hate to use this card, I really do, but it's because Brady's the quarterback on the other team. That's the only reason people really found this controversial. And I hate to use that card. I don't use that card nearly as much as other Patriots fans. I don't like using the card. I'm going to use the card. If that is any other quarterback in Tampa Bay, there's a mild little uproar from Giants fans, but that's it. People were like,
well, of course, the Giants fans want to beat Brady. It's kind of tradition at this point.
But dude, I swear, man, people were saying it's like the blown call of the freaking year. I get our blown call of like the last 5 years. I guess the Nickel Roby-Coleman thing just never happened.
Yeah,
I guess that just never existed. That is PI. That's PI. This was just he got there the ball. Now, if the ball was thrown correctly, I could see the call. If that ball hits Dion Lewis on the hands and they throw that flag, I could see it almost. I wouldn't agree with it, but I could see it. People are calling it. It wasn't a blown call.
It wasn't. That was not PI. Honestly, the only reason that could possibly be DPI is that Winfield got his head around maybe too late, but still the ball was still it was underthrown. It wasn't really Winfield's fault. He was making contact with Dion Lewis there.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's such a bang play that bang plays late in games will always go towards defense. It's always been like that. That's why if bang plays went towards the offense, do you know how many times they would call PI on Hail Marys? Oh. It would be freaking every Hail Mary there's PI. There's no way around it. What is that?
I heard that.
Sorry, we just had a freaking F-180 just fly over our roof.
Apparently it upset Mickey because I heard his paws going on, like, what was that, hardwood in the background?
Yeah. But, what was I talking? Yeah. What was I talking about?
Bang plays.
Yeah, Hail it was just bang. But yeah, could you imagine if they called PI on Hail Mary? Every Hail Mary is PI. Every single one. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think that'd be interesting. But that would be funny if they just flipped it. Every bang play went to the offense. These games would never end. They would always be in overtime. So can I have my New England rant of the week? I feel like it's time.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go ahead and mute myself.
So I'm officially gonna make this a segment. I'll make this the segment. I feel like honestly, it is a segment. It's just disappointment again. So we go in and the Bills completely demolish us in the first half. Not even a contest. And around the end of the third, we decide we're going to actually play football. And we score our first touchdown, what feels like in 4 weeks. Actually kind of was. We score a touchdown, and we actually go back and forth. So we're tied 21-20, or down 24-21. 4 minutes left. We start with the ball on like our own 20, and we drive down the field. So it's first down, and we do a design quarterback run with Cam. Second down, design quarterback run with Cam gets a huge first down. He's had 2 runs in a row. What do? When the game's on the line with 47 seconds left, third design quarterback run. And Cam Newton fumbled it. So now we're 2-5. And the team, I mean, it was our best performance since week 3 or week 4. So the team is just not doing it. This one wasn't really on Cam. It was just a great loss. Daniels was just not calling plays right till the end of the third. And it was more the Bills' defense collapsing than us. This team sucks. This Patriots team is terrible. So there's rumors that we could bench Cam. I don't know if we are, but Stidham's not going to be much better. So New England sucks. That's the end of the rant. Shorter rant today because, well, there's really not much I can say besides repeating that New England does suck. You can unmute your mic now.
So New England sucks. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, they suck.
Good to hear. Very nice to hear.
We are. If we win 7 games, I'll be shocked. So.
And they have some cap troubles coming up too, don't they?
Oh, we have 30 million in cap right now. We're good. Opt-outs helped us a lot. We should be okay on cap. Now we do have to re-sign Tooney. We have to re-sign Lawrence Guy. We have to re-sign
that guy.
There's another guy we have to J.C. Jackson's contract's ending soon. We have to extend him if we trade Gilmore.
Yeah, if you trade Gilmore, yes.
We have to extend J.C. because J.C. is going to be our number one corner when Gilmore leaves. If I would say if Gilmore leaves, but Gilmore's probably going to leave. So, and that wasn't, I think, Gilmore. We tried to shop him at the deadline, but we didn't get a deal done. Yeah, it's not it, man. This team is just not it right now. I can't really complain though, because I'm spoiled. But
we're very spoiled.
Hey, at least we get some of the bandwagon New England Patriots fans out, so that's good.
Yeah. So when are you leaving?
I've been asked that so many times over the years. I've been asked that, like, who are you going to support next? I said, nobody. Nobody. God damn it. Yeah. So we were talking about the trade deadline earlier, and you want to hear this rocket trade deadline? 3 moves that happened.
I don't know about it.
New England made a groundbreaking trade. And when I mean groundbreaking, I mean this is going to change the future of New England.
It was as groundbreaking as the invention of the shovel.
We traded for Isaiah Ford.
Just going on a pun like that? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I will. Your puns deserve to be ignored.
Wow.
So, yeah, we traded for Isaiah Ford. What else can I say about that besides Isaiah Ford? Anyway, so other trade deadline news. Quan Alexander got moved. I thought he was injured.
Yeah, he got
so I
moved
completely
to
was
New Orleans for Kiko Alonso and a 5th.
That's a
he had a hefty contract too.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that looks for the Niners.
Probably trying to shed some cap to re-sign some of their other guys.
He's only costing him about $5 million in dead cap.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
No, it's not. But hey, I mean, apparently, I don't think he wasn't happy there. I just think they were just trying to get some cap space. Also, Damian Williams got moved to Miami.
I think that's it for
Exciting
for this week.
That was it. That was the trade deadline. That and Dante Pettis got cut.
And claimed. Got cut and claimed by the Giants.
God damn it.
What? Oh my lord. I just saw it. I hate you so much. Alright, game of the week. Let's move on before you mess up the Google Doc even more.
I messed up again.
Stop! It's not that hard.
Yes, it is. Anyway, so yes.
Games of the week.
Game of the weeks. Can we just say it at the same time? Because I feel like I'll let you do this, because you didn't get to talk much today.
Well, the only really notable, impactful game this week is Saints and Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football. That's pretty much the only notable game this week. Most of the matchups aren't very good. You could probably maybe at the start of the season you'd say Seahawks and Bills, but Bills have been struggling as of recent. 49ers are injured to heck, and Packers ain't looking too hot, so that Thursday Night Football, it's probably not going to be very good. Probably the second best game you got on here is the Lions and Vikings, which is saying something.
Oh boy. Yeah, like you said, I tried to pick out a different game of the week, and I simply couldn't because, well, it's the game of the week. That's pretty much it. I can't wait. I think this game kind of goes to show how real the Bucks have kind of grown since week one. They've meshed. Him and Mike Evans look really good in the red zone, and him and Gronk are starting to click more. So I'm hoping Tampa Bay wins because I don't like the Saints. So
I hope the Saints win because screw the Bucks right now.
this is also Antonio Brown's debut with the Buccaneers. That should be interesting.
Come on, Scotty. You can do it,
Wide
Scotty.
receiver for right now 2 until he turns into wide receiver 3 when Chris Godwin comes back.
And then wide receiver 4 when Scotty Miller says, no, this is my spot.
And then wide receiver 5 when Tyler Johnson says, no, see that, we don't play this game.
And then continues to not be in the league anymore when he has another mental breakdown and gets cut.
Okay, seems pretty fair to me.
All right, weekly sessions.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to do the player I was supposed to do last week before I transition into standing for Zach Wilson. This week I'm going to go with Charles Snowden, the linebacker out of Virginia. If you want to know something about Charles Snowden, this boy is 6'7". He's also 235 pounds.
That's a tall boy.
He's a very tall boy. Obviously, pros his height and his length, and he knows how to utilize it very well, especially in run stuffing. He wins well on first contact, keeping his arms extended and his opponents away from his frame on run defending. He can set the edge if needed, more as like a force player, not really much of as an edge rusher. He has some flashes dropping into zone coverage, which is great to see, especially for a 6'7" linebacker. That's like, I mean, if you find a 6'7" linebacker that also can play coverage, that's something you really want to look for. It's a big advantage there. It's like Madden in real life, having those super linebackers. He gets his arms up into throwing lanes very well. He just sticks his paws up in the air and bats down passes. He takes tight pursuit angles and finishes well with tackling. And he has pretty good agility for someone of his stature. The cons, though, he is lean. He's only 235 at 6'7", and he's a linebacker. You probably want to see him put more around 250. If he doesn't win in first contact against the run, then he can really get worked. If he doesn't win first, he needs to improve on what he should be doing next. That's more coaching than anything, really, and discipline. His play strength needs to be improved. Again, he needs to add a few more pounds. He needs to get a bit stronger. 250 would probably be a good range for him. He has very leggy back pedals because of how big and long he is, and that slows down his transitions. And he's not much of a pass rusher, but with a 6'7" linebacker who has some flashes in zone coverage, I really wouldn't suggest using him as an edge rusher. Probably a third, second round prospect. Unless he has
that's
an
interesting.
insane combine, then he could easily rise to the first with his height and weight and speed.
But see, that's what's interesting is how he's going to fit into the NFL, because teams always need somebody to guard tight ends, especially with how talented tight ends are becoming. So he could be a just great tight end cover guy in the NFL, based on what you said, with that height, weight, speed.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that issue with tight ends is they're always too fast for linebackers, but too strong for defensive backs. And and safeties are normally the answer, but even safeties don't really match up to a lot of tight ends.
Yeah, I think he's projected to run. I think it was like a 4. He's projected to run like in the 4.6s, maybe 4.7s.
See, that's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
For a cover backer. But then again, 40 combine doesn't show game speed, so I guess that's something an NFL team would have to see.
Yeah, that's something you have to really decide for yourself.
I mean, that's what whatever team drafts him will probably do that. They'll probably like try him out at cover backer, and if he can't, they may just have him as a more of a run stuffer until he can develop that pass coverage skills.
Yeah.
But either way, imagine trying to throw over the middle with someone that's 6'7".
Yeah.
Especially with how many defenses are starting to put linebackers like how like that pass. I don't know what the pass rushing formation is called, but they kind of space the D lineman out, and the linebackers kind of play on the line. So there's like 6 or 7 guys on the line, but only like 3 are at rushing, and you have to kind of pick which one.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact term for that. I think it's something like sugar dime or something like that. There's a term for it. I don't know it, but on that type, that's going to be this guy's money formation. That's where he's going to get paid, is how he can do that formation. I can't wait to see it, because that's one of the few prospects that I've seen a good amount of game tape on.
You've watched a lot of Virginia?
Not Virginia, but again, his highlights are they're out there. Again, I haven't done like in-depth film study, but I've seen his highlights, and he's got some stuff, especially in the run game. Well, fantasy has been tragic, but if you're a Stephon Diggs owner in fantasy this week, you should be putting him in there. I know you should have him in there regardless.
Yeah, you should be starting him regardless.
But he gets to play Seattle, which is the worst pass defense in the league right now. Man, let him go. He should get 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't know. Again, like this week is kind of weird for fantasy. There's not like a lot of prime matchups. A lot of guys that I would start. I would start Damian Harris versus the Jets. I have him in my fantasy league. I feel like he has kind of turned into New England's #1 back. So Damian Harris versus the Jets. It would be my other pick. I don't know. Fantasy, should you really take my fantasy advice? Because I kind of suck at it. So
yeah, I cut John Brown, I think, this week or last week.
And that was that was such a good prediction for that 1 week, and then that was it.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
But yeah. Keyword: if you watch the series and take my fantasy advice, I apologize, because it's not good.
Apology not accepted.
Dalvin Cook, though, that's the answer.
Shut up. Check your fantasy privilege. All right, I think.
Anyway, well, I hope we were able to take the mind off the election stuff going on right now. So, little hour of idiots talking about football. But thank you guys again for stopping in, and I think we'll see you next week on Belichick's Bitches podcast.
See